Good evening and welcome to Text Insights with Brian Cochran. It's episode 15, how to host an event at your own location and stream your event at the same time. And we're going to be talking about how to put together your web conference system or your web conferencing system, and then what kind of software and hardware you need in order to do so. Uh, Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome. I am excited to be back again. I've had a bunch of requests because I do a lot of streaming, and then lately, churches have been wanting to, as well as businesses, have been wanting to do take their event online. They've been doing streaming online, and then yet they now want to do conferences, and so they're doing some conferences at their church locations, at their locations, and then they also want to take it to the next level and also offer it online. They didn't know that they could, and I said, well, I've been telling them how to do it and helping them through it and been putting it together for them, but I said, let me change up a little bit, and we've talked about the tech part of putting together your streaming system, and I'll get to that in a minute, but I just kind of want to go through some of the basic steps of what it is to do what we do in order to do a live conference. And so let's get started. Live streaming is an online streaming media simultaneously recorded and broadcasted in real time. So you're able to broadcast real time, which again, I'm talking as if you don't know anything, but this is what basically live streaming is all about. As it is often referred to simply as streaming. But this abbreviated term is ambiguous because streaming may also refer to media delivered and played back simultaneously without requiring a completely downloaded file. So that's kind of what we're going to talk about today as well, because there's several different ways of doing it, and I want to make sure you have an understanding on what to do, so that way we and all that get understanding. Let's take a look at three different types of conferences. Number one is physical conference. That's where you actually go to a physical location. Number two is a live virtual conference, where it's 100% online. And number three is a hybrid, which is a combination of physical and virtual, which is what we're going to be talking about today. Why live stream your events? I'm glad you asked. Multiple multi-location events. And so because I work with certain churches that have several locations, they were trying to figure out how to do it. So through streaming, we're able to pull in their feed from the different locations and broadcast them at the same times as they're in the same room. So, and those in the building that's physical can actually see it as well. It's hybrid. So again, this is the basis of what we're talking about today, which is both online and offline, to be able to help you do both online and offline as your conference or event is being produced and streamed. You're able to remotely have keynote speakers. And so there's a church I'm doing some live streaming for right now, and get ready to do their live event. And what they wanted to do was they had a couple of their speakers do it virtually, and then they had one come to the church, and their keynote speaker, he came to the church. But remotely, you're able to, utilizing the online system, that you're able to remotely have keynote speakers anywhere in the world to tune into your conference. Also, you can have remote attendees. So you can have attendees all over the world to attend your conference. You can boost attendee engagement by using social media, as well as it's what's so cool about some of the services that are available. You can do quizzes, questions, you can do just fun games and that kind of stuff to engage. You're also able to put together something called autoresponders. So once they register for the online portion, you can automatically send them information. If you book a new guest speaker, or if you added a different feature, added another day, or you've changed some things, you can engage them and boost your engagement by staying in contact with them by using what is called the email blast service, or emailing service. Number 7, what is so awesome that's real good about doing streaming events is they have some great management systems that are available that will do your intake, your initial registration form. It'll do it virtually. It'll take your payments online. It'll track how many people are are attending. You can also print out the registration forms for the people. You can also, because it has a contact management system in it with it as well. Again, as I talked about earlier, it has an autoresponder in there, so you can continue to send out messages about the conference and keep your people engaged. It has a ton of other features. Some has SMS services where you're also able to text. You're also able to tie into your payment systems like PayPal or some of the others out there, or your own payment system through the bank that you're using. So the cool thing about the management system, event management system, is all encompassing, because it's specializing taking what was online and made it available now. Offline, now made it online. And because it's online, if you've got a smartphone, you can track the events, you can post your events, you can engage your events. A lot of them have social medias where you can post different things at a certain time. You can schedule posts, all that kind of stuff, depending on the system that you're using. You can increase attendance because what's going to happen, one of the churches I'm working with down in Orange County, they have some folks that are, out of town, that can't make it, on vacation, won't be around, all the above, as well as their ministry have friends all over the country that are not able to fly in because of what we're going through right now with COVID. So they're able to utilize this system in order to get their attendance, where if they can't make it traditionally, if you had an offline event, the only way you would be able to go and attend was to go to the event. But now those folks that don't go, they can't travel for whatever reason, or shut in or whatever, they can still be able to attend the event, because you can send them all the information virtually. They can attend virtually. What the person that we're working with in Orange County, because registration is still kind of early, they can actually mail them the binders and everything that they need in order to participate in the event. And so what happened is they can keep up with the speakers, keep up with everything, because they can put all the outlines and everything in the packet, as well as a gift package, and send them the care package, send them the package for the event. So that'll increase your attendance because of also using online. You can also use live and pre-recorded content, which is kind of cool, because as I mentioned earlier, some of the churches, some of the people that are doing events, not just for churches, it's any type of conference, but right now I'm doing a lot of church setups for conferencing. Well, they're able to pre-record, like one of the churches I work with, they pre-record all the sermons, almost everything, and then they're doing a live, in between, where they're interject before and introduce the next speaker. And then some are actually even introducing the speaker, and it's all virtual, where everything is pre-recorded. So you have a choice of doing both live, pre-recorded, or a combination of the two. And that's what's so awesome about doing a hybrid type of event. And it cut costs, because if you do a 100% virtual, then guess what? There's no cost for facility. There's no cost for insurance and all the other stuff to do the event. And it's a tenth of the cost to do a virtual event than it does doing a 100% physical event. But the cool part about it is, if you do a hybrid, you're able to save money, because less cost to do things, less wear and tear on the building that you're using, and so forth. So you'll save money in doing so as well. And you can increase revenue by what I said earlier, by increasing attendance. You can also increase revenue. Some of the things that you can do now with doing it virtually is that you can digitize all your paperwork, so that way your cost of doing the production is less, and then your attendance increases and your bottom line increases, because you're able to cut costs, as well as because we talked about earlier, number 6, which you're able to increase your attendance because you're doing it virtually as well, that you're giving them an option to be able to do so. What's involved in a virtual conference or event? I'm glad you asked. You need some equipment, streaming equipment for hybrid and live and physical event. It goes as follows. If you see here, you have a person that's on stage, and then you have a camera, you need a streaming computer, and then you need access to the internet and the software in between that connects people from the computer to the internet onto the conference that you're doing. Next is, if you have not, I've done all the videos on the actual equipment that you need. If you go to bactv.net/playlist/tech insights, you'll find it's like 5 or 6 videos that we did on. If you don't know what equipment that you need, you can go there, watch them all, and you'll get a gist of all the equipment that you need. And then we'll go into next the software that you need, which is different than just just regular live streaming. Live streaming is one thing. The difference. Let me do this. Let me stop here real quick and say this before I go further. There is a difference between live streaming and web conferencing. Live streaming is like what I'm doing right now. I'm just streaming live. You don't need password or access. You just, if you went to Facebook, YouTube, Vimeo, or wherever else, where our websites or whatever, you're able to see the stream. With a live conference, there's a wall, and that wall is a person has to register, and we'll get into all that in a minute. But that's what the difference is. So with a conference, you're saying you want people to pre-register, and once they pre-register, then they have access to the feed like you see now. They have to either pay if it's a paid conference, or if it's a free one, then the same thing. Once they register, which you should, and we'll talk about that in a minute when we get to that page, that you'll be able to capture their information. Then you send to, then you'll be able to give them the feed for them to be able to watch the broadcast. So let's keep going. But I just wanted to say that up front because I know that's that was funny. So that way, there's a difference between live streaming. So if you have like StreamYard, or you're going to Facebook Live, or you're going to YouTube Live, they're streaming broadcasting platforms, which is different than a web conferencing platform. So we'll get to that in a second. All right, let's keep going. And if you have any questions while we're here, go ahead and put it in the comment section, and I'll stop and answer your question, or wait till the end, either or, and I'll answer your question. Let's continue. Right. So event services now these are different than some of these also have live broadcasting systems, but these are specifically the software that will help you create the registration, contact management, all the kind of stuff is all within these systems that we're talking about here. Live stream is one. It's from Vimeo. Webinar Jam, I used to use them. They were awesome for what they did, because again, you can create this just like a registration and all the forms that you would get when you do a normal one. It also does it in these services virtually, so that way you're able to give them get the information, capture the information, either get a payment or give them the or send them the link for them to view, and then you can do a bunch of different things within that. The next one is CrowdComms, Dreamcast, and then our own system that we have is called Global Marketing Suite, and we'll talk about it a little bit later, which is a little bit more encompassing, and it does it all and a whole bunch more that allows you to do a whole bunch of stuff, but we'll get that in a little bit. So now, web conferencing software is something different than what we've been talking about with live broadcasting. So with like Zoom, Livestorm, Zoho Meeting, RingCentral, GoToMeeting, Cisco, WebEx, WebEx, and then Skype. Probably the best one, and depending on the event. So say let's talk out what a conference normally does. A normal conference would be you will have a registration, you'll have speakers, and you may have breakout rooms. The cool thing about conferencing software systems is that, like Zoom was probably the best one. That was what they were known for before the pandemic. Now they're known for everything, is because depending on what plan you get, you're able to get also some breakout rooms. And with those breakout rooms within your system, that once they go to the main page, once you go to the registration page, and if you create this online system, they can go to, once you got a keynote speaker, and then when the keynote speaker is done, then they can choose what room they want to go to, and you have your guest speakers in those different rooms. So that way, all you got to do is they go down the hallway, excuse the expression, to their room, and then they go into the room to check out whatever class or workshop or presentation is going on. Most of those systems do it, but Zoom probably does it the best, and they're probably the most economical for you to use. So if you're thinking about using, you need this one in order to be able to stream your actual conference. And then you'll need what we're going to be talking about in a couple of minutes. You'll need the front end in order for folks to do the registration portion and your contact management, your event management of your upcoming event. So online event system, let's talk about that now. How to run events online. Glad you are asking that question. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to ask as we're going through our lesson today. All right. So it starts off with what I did was I just copy and pasted the service that we use. There's tons of templates that you're able to use that walk you through each step. I'm going to take you through each step that you need to go through in order to do an online event. So what happens is when you go to the registration page, or it may be your contact page or your event page. We'll say it should be event page / registration page. So when you go there, you'll have the video for the upcoming event that promotes it. Then below that, if you see, there's some bullet point. Let me get out of the picture and just make it all 100%. 100%. You don't need to see me. All right, there we go. If you look down below the video, it says, information about You put your bullet points there. Then you'll put on the right side next to the video, you put the title of the reservation. Excuse me. Let me slow down. The reservation title, for the reservation, the name of the event and the date of the event, and then they will put in their email, their name, and you can also add into it their telephone as well. So for SMS, but for the sake of this conversation, the sake of this class today, I didn't want to put that there too, because unless you have one of the services that offers SMS, and the cool part about SMS, it's texting services that you can text people the information as well as email them at the same time. Then at the bottom there, below the name, you'll see it says get instant access. You can put, to reserve, click, or whatever. Then you put your hosted by, you can put your guest speakers below that, and that is your reservation page or your event your event page. Next is what happens is through the system that is put together. Next would be, and I just put that up there just for the sake of having a picture up there, your confirmation email that can have more information about your event that's coming up. And then because what you want to do, and let me park here just for a second because this is important. I get asked this all the time, and one of the things that I want to make sure, there we go, this way. Yeah, I had it right. So one of the things I want to make sure you understand is it's so important for online that you want to capture the email. So whatever system you use, make sure it has a email system in it that allows you to capture their emails and send bulk emails to each person. And that you also has an autoresponder in it. Probably next week I'll get into that, and I'll do a class just on email blast services that are available in the marketplace and what it is exactly and the benefit of having it. But one of the main benefits of having it is that once you get their email and they've opted in, and this is what part of this is confirmation that they are allowing you to use their email, not to spam them, but to send them more information about that event and upcoming events from that point forward. And this is how you build an e-list, and this is how you get started. So from there, let me do this. Then the next one is now. So because a lot of us are going to be doing paid events, then within the system you can put in there your live checkouts, your checkout form. So within your checkout form, you get, it's something separate within the system. So you would, tie it into PayPal or whatever other services that are available through the system that you're using. And you're able to capture get their information, and you'll confirm it before it sends it. It takes the payment. And then from there, it takes you to the next page, which is your confirmation page that you've been registered to the event itself. The only way they're registered is if they get this and this only. If they don't get this, then they're not registered. And then from there, if you notice on the bottom below the picture again, it says description event, and then you put and then the next step from there, then you can put again more information about the event, more guest speakers, who is hosted by. If you look on the right hand side, all the next steps for the event, for the upcoming event, you can put those next steps there. Then you can follow them up with a autoresponder message, either SMS and or email or both, that will let them know the next steps of what they're doing for them, for registering the event, or if they need to do something else, if they need to, get notebooks, notepads, and they need to get a recorder. If the webinar or the conference is going to be an evergreen, so once they've seen it, they get a link to see the end. All that information you can put on this page. Next is the Indoctrination Page. So that way, again, another video. You don't have to do a video. You can do a flyer. And again, all this information to keep people engaged. That's one of the reasons why this works better than just normal normal events, because with this type of event, then through the autoresponder, this automatically in the sequence, it automatically gives this the event title, and then again the description of the page, what other information you want to give them within the video. If maybe you added more speakers, maybe you've added some more vendors or whatever you want to put in that section, and that either it could be a video or it could be just a JPEG, some type of picture, some type of flyer. Then this is the actual broadcast page. It can be decorated better. And then what happens is it won't go live until the time it goes live. So what happens if you see here, it has a description. So that up at top where it says live broadcast page, it'll be, you put your information up there for the broadcast to know what it is. It's not seen until the day of the event that it's supposed to go on. Then it has days and hours or whatever. It'll either go to that page. Some systems work like our system works where it doesn't. So this page will come up, but the actual conference doesn't start until the video goes live. Once you go live, then this populates and it shows up, and then it goes down to the countdown to 0. And then if you see there it says buy now, what happens too is that you can make that pop up at a different time. That if, say, one of your speakers or you have books or other resources you want to upsell, you're able to do it on this page as well, or you can take that out if you choose to, and then that's your live broadcast page. Let's go to the next. And then once it's done, it will send a thank you page. Once the webinar is over, once your conference is over, it will send automatically a thank you page. On that, you can put all the descriptions, whatever you want. If you want to give them a free gift or you want to send them to another page, you can click there for either a download, or you can click there for more information, or to send them somewhere else. You're able to do that within the system. It allows you to do that. And it's so awesome because it helps you be organized, because most of us, I've found a lot of us are not organized, and I'm one of those. I do a lot of events. I'm an event planner, as you probably may or may not know, and I put on a lot of events. This helped me virtually because what I've been doing for years, and I have an outline, I have a whole booklet and things that we do for event planning on the physical events. This helped me on virtual. When I first got into it, I used a different service. They didn't have all these things, and I was missing things, and the follow through. It's like I have a good friend. Her name is Carly, who she's an event planner as well, and I'll share her for a second because she's probably the perfect person to do. So she does stuff where if you're a vendor, if you're a person that you utilize her service, that after event she sends a thank you card. So this is your thank you card. Thank you so much for participating. Thank you so much, and it helps you to remember that those people are important. They didn't have to buy your service. They didn't have to buy your conference. They didn't have to go, and you want to thank them. This is either you can do a video, say, hey, thank you so much, or it can be a flyer, whatever you choose, and it's up to you. But that's what this thank you page is all about. So make sure in what you're doing that you have a thank you page within your system. Let's keep going. In conclusion, yay. Let me go back. In conclusion, there are a ton of services. You can, I'm gonna give you my contact information if you want to reach out to me. That I use this system in order to do my conferencing, my web conference, my special events that I do that are online. And then now that COVID is back, where we can do events back on location, I'm going to be doing hybrid events from now on, because it's something I used to do before, but I'm taking it to another level, because of learning more about what I'm doing as far as being more efficient, making sure I have autoresponders that I can, that I can send out information to keep people engaged. It's just like with it's just like with radio. When you do an event in radio, I am so sorry. Let me fix that. There we go. Fixed it. So it's just like with, when you buy tickets to a concert, you'll still hear about the concert, depending on where you go, or you go to a website and there's more information. Well, this is a pseudo website that allows you to do what a website does to a certain extent, but it's only specifically for this event. So what can happen is if you got a website and you have an event, well, you can put the basic information, and then they click through to go to the registration page, and it takes them to this funnel which is what it's called. And we'll get into funnels a little bit later on, but basically it's a funnel. You're taking them through a process to get them to where they can actually watch the event and then respond to, you can take them where you want to go after that. If they say, for instance, at the end, your presenters have books, that's where on the thank you page, oh yes, by the way, go to this website and this is where you can buy. So this is where you can make extra money on your events by not just selling their products. What I'll do is when I speak, I sell products at the events that I speak at because I'm a speaker. Oh my, that made it worse. Oh, there we go. I am so sorry today. It's one of those days. I'm wearing the wrong shirt. There's some green. There's some green in this shirt, so I apologize for that. There we go. Let me sit back. So, where was I? Anyway, we're done, and I just wanted you to know that. So let me do this. If you are looking to do an event, this is a shameless, not even a shameless plug. We do a very good job. We have all the cameras and everything you need. If you want to learn more about our services as far as live streaming, that we do all that, all we talked about today, we put together your event page. We can staff your event. We can do it virtually. We can run your event as well online. Just go to briancochran.org/live-streaming-events, and then that will give you more information with the intake form or my telephone number to call us, and we will book your event or walk you through the process of doing your next hybrid event or even streaming, 100% streaming event. We've been contracted a lot lately because we can do 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 camera shots now, and so depending on, we can help you with your breakout rooms and having all that live recorded, all that live streamed at the same time. So depending on what's going on, we have a big enough team to do that. So if you need those things, we're greatly here to do it. Contact me. This is my office number. 951-987-5145 extension 3. That's 951-987-5143 extension 3. My personal email address is there, and our website, which has our streaming information, other information, the things that we do, is briancochran.org. And thank you so much for tuning in. And I do apologize for my lighting's messed up. I kind of hurried up and did some stuff, so I apologize. And on my lighting, you seeing, I have a green screen behind me. Oh, let me show you that real quick while we're doing it. So one of the things we can do for your event is also do, if you look here, this is my green screen behind me, and my green screen is whatever background I want. Let me change my background and show you a different background. There we go. So we can put whatever background that you want. We have a big enough screen to cover most smaller places that we can do it. And if we need a larger one, we can do that. So we can change the background based upon the event or whatever it is. We can put your banner behind you, whatever you need. We can do that as well. As far as our green screen, I'm just being silly right now, just to kind of show you what we can do. That's it for today. You have my contact information. Hit me up below. If you have, let me do this before I close. Before I go, do you have any questions about how to live stream or how to put together a virtual hybrid event? That means offline and online at the same time. Are you having any challenges that I can answer before I get off the line? So that way I can help you before I go. Or again, my contact information is on the screen that you can contact me, and I'll gladly help you. That's extension 3. When you go through, if you go through the prompts, it'll still, if you say Brian Cochran, it'll go to me directly. Or otherwise, you'll go to one of our other sales team if you go to extension 1 or 2. So no questions? Well, that's it for today. We thank you so much for tuning in. We hope something's been said or done that help you build your tech, build up your ministry, your business in a special way. This is Tech Insights with Brian Cochran here every Tuesday at 6 o'clock.